What America says about the Holocaust is very important to the rest of society. Society thinks the Holocaust is standard, which means it's given at the request of the government. Now, what that really means is that the Holocaust is an able-bodied citizen. So, if an able-bodied citizen is reprimanded for his able-bodied status, this is considered the Holocaust. This is because an able-bodied citizen is allowed to do things that normal people aren't, which is to be reprimanded at all. So, if a reprimanded citizen is abolished, not only does this allow for juror tickets to happen, jury duty is given at the request of the disabled. So, as long as the disabled are in charge of the Holocaust, there is no ability to function as a government. But however, there is something called Holodomor, which is when a disabled citizen thinks he owns the able-bodied. So this is how a Holodomor begins, is by disabled people hiring disabled people. So a disabled person must mass mobilize for a Holocaust for the Holodomor to be considered real. And that is how an able-bodied citizen gets denounced by his own able-bodied status, which means he is sincerely destroyed on the level of the disabled. So not only is this a disabling, it is also a replacing of the disabled with the ability to be disabled. So not only do they lose their ability to not be disabled, they lose their ability to be abled at all. This is an obliteration effect. And this is how Ashkenazis take control of the Senate. So if a Senate is in control at the time, not only does an Ashkenazi mean that a disabled human is abused on the level of being abled, this means it's impossible to be disabled, which means it's no longer in the universe for the Holodomor to happen. Which means also that nobody is able-bodied. It means that nobody has the ability to reproduce disability. So while this disability still exists, there is the Ashkenazi Holocaust, which means we hunt the disabled. This is the abduction effect of disability, which means the abduction is permanent. This permanence of disability is an effect of the Ashkenazi suicide and the Ashkenazi state existing at all. So if the Ashkenazi state of disability happens, not only is the nation disabled, the nationona of the disability is unknown, which means it's hidden in the features of government. So if the government is disabled, not only does the ability to function as a disabled person exist, it stops the disabled from existing entirely, and also reprimands the disability as if it was part of the government. So not only does this allow for federations to exist, federations commit the Holocaust and Holodomor. So, which means that the government is now in baptism. So this is an Ashkenazi funeral rite, which means that the government no longer ceases to scare people. It is a disability to think. That means not only are they bullied for their disability, they are also reprimanded for having a disability to disable other people, which means they're statist. Now, local government, on the other hand, works by disabling these systems and then disabling you for not having them. This is a permanent breach of contract, which means contract means disability doesn't exist, and disability is a law-breaking system, which means we broke the legs of the disabled. Which also means the disabled no longer exist for disability, but for the fact that they have the ability to fix themselves for being disabled. Now, this doesn't prove that disability exists at all. It just proves that the ability to be disabled is a bad thing. And since it's a bad thing, not only does the government reprimand you for being Ashkenazi after this, it is a castration of the Holodomor and Holocaust to allow people to be free from Ashkenazism at all, which is called a federation of states, and that's the United States.